welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and at the request of Patreon subscriber Joyami, I have brewed around Pursuit of Knowledge. This deck comes with a bit of a story. Joyami reached out to me probably middle of last year with a brew challenge for Pursuit of Knowledge. Just said he wanted to see this in a deck, and boy did I try. Let me read this thing to you. 3 and a white enchantment. If you would draw a card, you may put a study counter on Pursuit of Knowledge instead. Then remove 3 study counters from Pursuit, sack it, and draw 7 cards. Basically skip 3 draws, then draw 7, is what this card does. I tried so hard to brew around this thing that I ended up tapping out. I went back to Joyami and was like, hey, I'm really sorry. This card sucks so bad. I cannot build a deck around it. And he understood. But here we are, 6 or 7 months later, and he came to me with a shell and some terms where basically we've hidden 2 copies of Pursuit of Knowledge in this Yorion combo deck where it may or may not do anything, and that's okay. But the card is here, and I hope to draw 7 at least once in the league. The naive interpretation of this is I skip 3 turns and then I jump forward 7 turns. Of course, we're not going to actually skip 3 turns of drawing cards to slowly juice this thing up. If you skip 2 draw steps and get this bounce with Brazen Borrower or Disenchanted or something, you're just dead. What we're going to try to do is draw more than 1 card at a time and do it all at once. A single Brainstorm, of course, draws 3 cards on its own. You can skip those 3 draws, put 2 cards back, then sack the Pursuit of Knowledge. And here's why Pursuit of Knowledge is so hard to actually build or play around, because Pursuit of Knowledge costs 4 and doesn't do anything. Brainstorm costs 1. Now you've spent 5 mana. Brainstorm and Pursuit of Knowledge are each cards. And then you have to put 2 cards back from the Brainstorm. So you're already invested 4 cards here, and then you sack it to go plus 3 cards. Why didn't you just cast Lorien Revealed for the same 5 mana? And there's a million different versions of that. How do we make this work? Like, if I play Sylvan Library and then curve my way up to Pursuit of Knowledge, then replace all the draws on Sylvan Library with Pursuit. Now I've spent 6 mana to draw 3 cards when I could have just paid 8 life with Sylvan Library. But that's okay. Joyami wants to see this card in action, and I'm here to showcase weird stuff. The list Joyami sent me had the One Ring. There are 4 copies of this in the deck. I hope. Yeah, it's a display bug. I'm just clicking on it, but there are 4 there. The One Ring is kind of glue that can make any stupid deck work. And then with Mind Over Matter, discard a card, you may tap or untap target artifact, creature, or land. You draw a card with the ring. You discard that card to untap the ring, then you draw 2 cards with the ring, you discard the worst one, and then you draw 3 cards with the ring, etc. Then you draw your deck. That is a combo that this deck features. If you draw your deck, you will have 5 mana from your 3 Chrome Mox and 2 Mox Ambers at the end. And that 5 mana can cast Jace, Wielder of Mysteries, and then you just tap your ring 1 more time and you win. That's what Joyami sent me. And as I was tuning up Joyami's list, I decided 4 copies of Teferi Time Raveler was right. Joyami had 1 in the original take. It was much more of a Azorius control deck that could do this sometimes. And if I'm going to be tapping out for 4 and 5 mana spells, I really wanted Teferi Time Raveler. Then once I added Teferi Time Raveler as a 4 of in the deck that was already playing artifact mana, I remembered there's another 4-drop that works well with this package that I've already created, and that's Displacer Kitten. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent you control and return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. If you have a Displacer Kitten and a Teferi Time Raveler and play Mox Amber, the kitten flickers Teferi, then you minus Teferi to bounce Mox Amber after floating a blue or white mana, then you draw a card from Teferi, then you replay Mox Amber, flicker Teferi, who goes back to 4 loyalty, float a blue or white, bounce it again. This is mana equal to the number of cards in your deck, and then you also draw your deck. At which point, you can cast Jace Wielder and win. So Jace Wielder covers the gap between Displacer Kitten and Mind Over Matter One Ring combo, and it gives us a bunch of cool engines like even just air quotes fairly playing Narset with a Displacer Kitten, you minus Narset, you just find like a Swords of Plowshares or a Brainstorm or a Ponder. You cast that, then Narset resets. You can activate her again. Then you're just kind of skipping through your deck like that on the slow. Tameo is just a great card that exists that turns on Mox Amber. Manamo School at Water's Edge can untap your One Ring if you're not quite going off yet. Lavinia is a tutorable with Recruiter of the Guard, who's here to get Displacer Kitten. Lavinia is just a tutorable disruptive legend that turns on Mox Amber and can protect your combo. One copy of Lotus Field in here, alongside one copy of Consigned to Memory, if we want to cheese it in, or we could just sack 2 lands. If we discard cards to make 3 mana, just every card in your hand is Black Lotus, it becomes pretty trivial to win the game. There's obviously a lot going on here, but I figured if we're doing it, if we're building a legacy deck that includes Pursuit of Knowledge, why not just go all the way in? And here we go. This is 4-drop Esper combo control magic cards that exist from Patreon subscriber Joyami. I'm on the draw in round 1 with one of the most coherent hands this hand is capable of, or this deck is capable of. I'm against Easy Money Marksman, who is just one of these grinder folks who's probably just playing the best deck, whatever the best deck may be, which in the case of Underground Sea Pass, we might just be facing down an Archon of Cruelty here. Okay, it's not Archon of Cruelty. It might be Troll of Khazad-dûm, which I have a turn 2 Teferi Time Raveler that I can point at that. Grabbing Undercity Sewers. Okay, so they're on kind of a slower draw. I'm going to hide this Chrome Mox. I don't want my opponent to know that I can cast a 3-drop next turn. B-Storm. Troll isn't in the blue tempo decks, like the Dimir tempo decks. Yeah, the B-Storm into Surveil Land is a pretty clear Atraxa situation. As soon as you see Troll, you know they're going to be Reanimator. You don't have to wonder. Okay. Finding this force is interesting. I am kind of beholden to taking beats from a Daze. But if I resolve Teferi here, then I'm also going to resolve Force of Will. And if I don't resolve Teferi, I might resolve Force of Will. I could also just Brainstorm, flip Tameo, and try to play normal Magic. I think I'm going to exile the Narset, actually. Well, if this works, I end up losing everything, and it doesn't matter. Recruiter of the Guard gets Displacer Kitten, which my combo is completely here. Chrome Mox only makes mana on a Displacer Kitten loop if you're willing to exile a card each time, which at some point is fine, and then also at some point you'll draw a Mox Amber. But Recruiter's the one that's doing the least right now, but Recruiter could be a Solitude next turn if I need to work through this Atraxa. I think I'm going to exile Narset here. Okay, Narset's gone. I'm going to fetch Underground Sea. I do play some black cards. Teferi Time Raveler's on the stack. They spent a Force of Will on that pitching Tainted Indulgence. Would I rather have Teferi in play and deal with an Atraxa? I kind of would, honestly. I'm going to force that, fight over Teferi, and I think I'll just plus him, and then I can bounce Atraxa next turn, and their cards shouldn't matter if they can't cast them. Yeah, there's the Atraxa. There's Entomb, Archon, Reanimate. Okay, so they could just Entomb, Reanimate, Archon with their land right now. Son of a biscuit. Well, that went as good as it could ever go for them. Oh, interesting. They took Brazen Borrower, or Misty Reinforce, Brainstorm, Brazen Borrower, Reanimate, Animate Dead. Like, Entomb, Reanimate for Archon was literally there. Oh, they already had an Entomb. That makes sense. They literally just already had Entomb in their hand. Story checks out. Okay, so I lose Tameo and Recruiter here, and then I can bounce Archon and try to find a removal spell. Okay, bounce Archon, play Plains, draw with my clue. Baleful Strix plays here, Swords of Plowshares. Oh my goodness. They could attack Teferi this turn. Bummer, bummer. Okay. I tried to outmuscle Atraxa, which almost worked, honestly. But now we're super dead. And that may or may not be true. Okay, Tainted Indulgence, another discard and outlet for the Archon in the hand. We know they're holding Animate Dead. And there's a land. Okay, you got me. I could have played that differently. Could have fought over the Atraxa in the graveyard rather than over my Teferi. I played to win rather than play to not lose, and it didn't work out, but I don't regret it. Macabres and Surgicals come in here. Flusterstorm is a reasonable card to play. Rest in Peace comes in. I don't think I need Consigned to Memory. Prismatic Ending. Joyami told me it's okay if I board out the Pursuits, and we're in a matchup where I'm under a lot of pressure, so I am going to do that. I think I'm going to cut a Mind Over Matter as well. I'll leave one in. I do want to be able to combo. I need one more cut. I could just submit 81. That's legal. Yeah, everything else is reasonable or a combo piece. Yeah, I'm just going to submit my deck. 81 card special. Okay, I like this hand. I can Tameo and use Mox Amber in the near future. Yeah, Island, Tameo. I'm going to play out the Amber. This deck probably has discard in it. If you listen to last week's episode of the Eternal Glory podcast, we talked about trying to brew in Legacy and what your deck needs to be capable of if you understand that the best 3 decks in the format have Wasteland Days Force of Will, or Wasteland Days Entomb Reanimate, or Ancient Tomb Blood Moon, and your deck needs to be able to absorb some of those things. Witch Enchanter. I'm going to play the Witch Blessed Meadow tapped and pass the turn. I don't want to take 3 damage I don't need to take here. This is a clear sign that this is my only white source. Yikes. Okay. This deck doesn't do a lot with a single blue mana, though. Okay, good news. Manamo. Manomino. There goes Troll. Getting basic Swamp, so they could be jamming Harbinger of the Seas this game. They could also be playing around my back to basics that I don't play. Okay, here's now a Force of Will with no blue card. Bowmaster. Yeah, this is the draw I was prepared to beat last game. But this is how sideboards work. They might not even have Entomb in their deck anymore. Gonna need a white source in the near future, but if I find one, I'm pretty happy. I could use Manama to untap itself. Okay, I have to take my medicine here. I'm in a bad spot. Plains will be worth more than 1 life. Okay. Ooh. I really want this to fairy too. Okay, I'm going to take the Scalding Tarn, and I'm not going to fetch yet. Not if I don't have to. Because if Teferi resolves Mox Amber, cast Swords to Plowshares, and we're cooking. Okay, passing the turn. Being a combo deck and not just a control deck means that I get to think about the game in terms of where my critical mass is and what my win the game off the top of the deck buttons are, rather than just like managing my life total and trying to keep it above 0, which I also have to do, but I can also just go off from 1 life. Luda Delta. Okay, I know there's a blue card on top of my deck as well. If I want to fully set up this situation, I think I am just going to wait. I'll go to 10 from the beats. I'm just not worried about getting reanimated here because I have the Macabre. In fact, I hope they do have an Entomb here and try to set something up, spend some cards on this. What I don't want to see is another Bowmaster. All right. The Taint. Discarded another Troll. Son of a biscuit. Well, here's this card now. Yeah, I mean, that card's great. They either held it very patiently until they were ready to go off, or just drew it. Either way, they did just draw 3 cards, so pretty likely they just drew it. Yeah, still taking Teferi. Annoying. Okay, so Brainstorm is the top card in my deck. My plan is to kill the Orcish Bowmaster, so Brainstorm's still good here. Now my combo, I had 2/3 of my combo, and now I have 1/3 of my combo. And I know I'm not drawing a combo card. Okay, I'll fetch right now, get Tundra, wide open to Wasteland, plow this Orc, and I will pass the turn. I'm going to hold my Brainstorm so I don't get got by the second Orc. Underground Sea. Opponent can cast Troll of Khazad-dûm at this point. Barrow-goyf. I have another plow in my hand. This Orc army is likely to kill me, though. Life total's pretty low. My plan was fight over Teferi, plow the Orc, the Orcish Bowmaster, bounce the Orc army, and then be stable with a Teferi in play. Obviously, Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize is just one of the best cards in Magic against both a control deck and a combo deck, of which I am both. Polluted Delta. It's not the worst card it could be. This lets me Brainstorm, and then I could plow a Bowmaster if they have it, and then I'm dead to Barrow-goyf if I don't find another out. Okay, plow this thing, And now we're digging for an out to Barrowgoyf. Big money, no whammies. Found a Teferi. Okay. Put back. Land. Okay, we're back to where I wanted to be 3 turns ago before the Thoughtseize. Might be too late now, but I'm going to make my effort. I'm going to make my stand. Okay, bounce. Barrowgoyf. If I draw Plow, I could cast it. Oh, the kitten! We're so close. If they ignore Teferi and try to get me dead, I win. That would be an insane thing to do, though. But if they just don't have any instants in the deck... Okay, now we have a choice to make. I could force this Barrowgoyf, and then they have to think about whether putting me on a two-turn clock or not. But I don't necessarily win. Okay. I'm going to let that resolve. They are going for Teferi, which means I am going to cast Brainstorm now, where Orcish Bowmaster doesn't kill me. Otis Field Fairy Macabre. That's not it, team. All right, GG's. A tight Thoughtseize right when it needed to happen. But, I mean, we made games out of those. Obviously, we lost in pretty spectacular fashion, but both games I sculpted a plan, and just the hyper-efficient best deck in the format did their plan a turn or two before mine did. Shouldn't be surprised by that. Shouldn't be embarrassed. I have hope for this league. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the play in round 2, a hand that is pretty reliant on Brainstorm for mana, but I am going to keep it. I have the Chrome Mox. I have all my colors here. I am just going to pass the turn with Underground Sea in play. That's not a Wasteland. We dodged. Basic Island, Shuko. Okay. We're against some kind of Nadu breakfast something or other. Land? Teferi. Lands? 3 looks at lands. Okay. Found the Flooded Strand. Life is good. I have Chrome Mox. Recruiter of the Guard finds Displacer Kitten. I'd like to clear this Shuko. That just takes some pressure off of me, which I think means I'm putting back Narset. And in Solitude is a nice layer of protection, but I'm going to run out of white cards soon. All right, I'm going to put back Narset in Solitude. And then I'm going to Prismatic end the Shuko off of Tundra. Okay, that pressure, that immediate pressure is taken off. I'm not going to lose on turn 2. B-Storm. And a pass. Multiple Chrome Mox in now. I think I would rather Ponder than shove Teferi. I have Swords of Plowshares that can interact with the stuff their deck does. Found a land and a Narset. Am I interested in Narset? Probably less than Ponder. Don't shuffle, play Marsh Flats. And I'll just pass here. The second Chrome Mox is pretty bad, I'm not going to lie. If the second Chrome Mox was an Amber, I'd be cooking. They kept a card on top with Meticulous Archive. Urza's Saga. That's a tasty target for Teferi Time Raveler. Alright, this deck may or may not contain Daze. I am going to play out the Chrome Mox. Pitching Ponder. Play Teferi. Leaving up Swords to Plowshares in case they put together a combo next turn. Nice. Bounce that Urza's Saga, draw Narset. Okay. I am very close to going off here. And Teferi means that my Swords to Plowshares will clear an Illusionist or a Nadu before it kills me. Ponder. They shuffled that Ponder. Shuko is fine. Nomad is the one I have to really worry about. I'm going to fetch Meticulous Archive here. The black is a very light splash. Ponder. Okay. I am going to keep Ponder on top because I need a spell to jumpstart my Displacer Kitten next turn. I can also Ponder at instant speed thanks to Teferi. I'm going to play Recruiter of the Guard, put Kitten in my hand, and my opponent is in check. I guess I had Chrome Mox. I didn't actually need anything here. Displacer Kitten. Pass the turn. Good luck. Your instants don't work, and you're dead next turn. What do you got? If their hand is Land Illusionist, they do win. Ooh, your own Teferi. Okay. Bouncing my Chrome Mox would be some level of annoyance. I will ponder here. Opponent doesn't have enough mana to play a illusionist. Okay. Pursuit of Knowledge. I could pitch that to Chrome Mox, and this gives me enough mana to go off. And if we both can't cast instants, that doesn't affect what I'm doing. They'll probably bounce Chrome Mox here. But if they have a Lotus Petal, they win. There's sometimes one copy of Lotus Petal in these decks. Okay, plowed that one. That's fine. I don't need it. Bounce my Chrome Mox, and that is the game. Okay, fetch, Tundra, Cat. There is a lot of clicking involved here. I have to get through 60 cards. It will work eventually, though. Chrome Mox, bounce to Fairy. Not gonna pitch any cards yet. I'm just gonna click for a while. I'll bring you all back when it's time to do something. Okay, I have Mind Over Matter and One Ring in my hand at this point. I could pivot to a faster combo if I want to start floating mana. I think I do. I mean, that's a lot of mana, though. All right, Pursuit of Knowledge, LOL. White in the pool. Exile Plow, white in the pool. Narset, blue in the pool. I have to take one off, but that's fine. I got 53 more cards to work through. Okay, Amber, now we're in hyperdrive. This is... It was already game, but now it's game much easier. Maybe I won't show them the One Ring, even though it is fun and awesome. I could play Mind Over Matter here. Yeah, actually, I like that just for the convenience of keeping my hand organized on Magic Online. In paper, I would just declare that I've won the game. I can also bounce their Urza Saga now. Start untapping lands. My opponent has disconnected. Heck yeah, go get a sandwich. I'll let you know when you're dead. Okay, I can deploy the One Ring now, which also bounces their Shuko. Bounce Shuko. Draw a card with Ring. Amber. Ring draw. Should I play Pursuit of Knowledge? I could. I could draw 7 cards here. Alright, this is a colossal waste of time, but I am going to play Pursuit of Knowledge and draw 7 cards with it. We may never get another chance to do this in our lives. Float white. Pick up Mox. Pursuit of Knowledge, let's go! Bounce nothing. And then tap Ring. I'll replace the Pursuit draw. 1, 2, 3. Oh my goodness. Jace Wielder's in hand. We did it. I'm going to use the Pursuit draws to actually win. Or no, it's going to ask me if I'm going to replace my draws for the rest of the game. Yeah, I can't abide by that. I'll just draw 7 now. Whee! We did it. A Jace Wielder is on the stack. Flicker to Fairy. You've seen a win con now, opponent. Are you even here? I don't even know if my opponent's actually still playing the game or not. And now we just yeet into the ring. There's probably some optimal way to hide information. Just trying not to discard spells that would give anything super obvious away. Can't even target myself with Jace Wielder because I have the Ring's protection. We did it. All right. Game on. Okay, Teferi Time Raveler is a hell of a card. We're playing against Cephalid Breakfast, Surgicals, Macabres, Consigns. All of this is not good against Teferi, which is a card they have shown me that they play. And if they have a Nadu pivot, we only saw blue and white mana, which they might just have been on a Cephalid draw, or they just don't actually play Nadu. Hard to be sure. I drew 7 off Pursuit of Knowledge. We can board this card out with impunity moving forward. Yeah, unfortunately, many of the cards in my deck are just good. Baleful Strix, not good. Lavinia is great. I don't think I need basic island versus this deck. I could cut 1 land. I have a bunch of Chrome Moxes and stuff. And Narset's a little slow for the matchup. Here we go. I don't think this is a keep. I'm gonna mulligan. Okay, this is a keep. I'm gonna put Jace Wielder on the bottom where he belongs. I have the whole combo with Force Protection ready to go. Shame it costs 9 mana. Tameo. I don't really want to play against that card, but my Force of Will is too precious. Guess what, homie? I'm also a Tameo. Just randomly flipping Tameo in the middle of a One Ring Mind Over Matter combo. That's an achievement to unlock. I am going to block here. because there are 1-mana ninjas that exist in Magic the Gathering. I don't think my opponent has them in their deck, but they do exist. All right, opponent's on that Tameo Blast plan. The cool thing about my deck is I do not care if my creatures get -1/-0. I do care if my opponent draws half their deck, so that's the clock I'm on. Oh, this is a 6-drop? I thought it was 5. Wow. Okay, never mind. It's a 10-mana combo. Does anyone else's brain just turn off after some number of colored pips? It's just like, nah, I'm not reading all that. Okay, they are a Nadu deck. And there's a Nomad. I will be attacking for -1 this turn. Lavinia, what's up, girl? Attack Tameo. Gotcha. I have boarded out all my black cards, or all the black cards that cost mana, so I'm just going to keep fetching Tundras here. I guess if that's the case, I should have boarded out Underground Sea instead of Basic Island, because they're mostly the same thing, except one can be wasted or harbingered or whatever. I guess they're not really the same thing, though, because Underground Sea, I could cast Surgical Extraction for Richard Garfield mana at some point. Okay, my opponent can't Dread Return, and they can't Force of Will right now. Rainstorm, they're digging. And Tameo does actually take damage from Lavinia, so we can tread water against that for real. Okay, it no longer dies to Lavinia. All right. And Nomad doesn't even, I don't even get a double trade and clear their Nomads if I attack. Okay, I'm going to attack Tameo again. Scoreboard. Is one of the Nomads can redirect all the damage to the other Nomad, and then their creatures don't die. Ponder. Oh. I don't think I want these cards. Though Teferi does make them drawing... Alright, yeah, I will take Teferi. I lied. Yeah, Teferi makes them drawing half their deck significantly less scary. I could also just stick One Ring next turn and see what happens. Cavern of Souls. Alright, well, Nadu gets me real good. Teferi. Oh, well, I'll just force that one. I stacked my cards wrong. I would love to pitch Narset here. I think I have to pitch Mind Over Matter here. Yeah, I kind of need the Teferi if I'm going to put pressure on Tameo or beat Tameo. I left Manamo on top of the deck. That should have been Narset for exactly this reason. They just bought back Ponder with Tameo, so they're digging rather than trying to get to the half-deck option. Shuffle the library. We love it. Crack a Clue. There's Manamo. Yeah, I'm going to play my Teferi now. That's one of your Nomads. Now I can put an actual damage on Tameo. That's the correct thing to say. Attack Tameo. I'm leaving back my Tameo because I don't want Teferi to die to Nomad. Okay. They said I don't need 2 of those. I can flip my Tameo here. Alright, I will. Cool. Yeah, I guess my Tameo should have attacked then, if I could flip and plus this. Lost track of it. Okay, hope I don't die right now somehow. But it's really hard to Dread Return with Lavinia in play. They could Nadu and flip a bunch of cards, but they can't really cast them through Teferi plus Lavinia. Saga. Right, there's green in the pool. It's bird time. Bird wizard time. Okay, F6. Off you go. Island. Narcomoeba. Force of Negation. Cabinet of Souls. They can play Narcomoeba here and get 2 more flips at minimum. They do still have a Tameo activation. Oh, Illusionist is here. Okay, if they can get Thassa's Oracle into their hand, they can win here. Or I guess if they flip Swords to Plowshares, and then they can Dread Return. Yeah, there's a bunch of sequences that result in bad news here. They milled over a Plow. Tameo could pick it up. That's game. Okay. Sick line. Yeah, Tameo picked up Plow, and now I lose. Yeah, Nadu was always the bad news bears there. Okay. That was close again. We take close. I like close. Engineered Explosives can kill Tameos and Nomads and stuff. That's something I could consider. I'm not considering Supreme Verdict. I could use my Mentor Pivot. There is a Monastery Mentor Pivot here where I just beat face. That's more for Ancient Tomb decks, though. Yeah, I'm getting it. Same deck. Turn 1 Tameo. I'm going to keep. If they just send a turn 2 combo, I am in trouble. I'm just going to hope they don't do that. And I am going to get my white mana started here, rather than play on the black source that doesn't cast any spells. Any white card turns on Solitude. Playing defense. Don't like it. Another land, don't like that either. Show me Teferi and Arset. Alright, Tamiyo I will keep around. I can buy Yorion as a white card if I need it. Just the Faircast Jace Wielder is a card I could do. I'm curving into it. Tamiyo. Alright, do I want to touch butts with their Tamiyo and maybe lose, or do I just want to get Yorion? I think I'm going to get Yorion. Just a white card in my hand. I have to save my removal for potential Nadus or Illusionists, as much as I'd like to fight over this Tamiyo. Uh-oh. Well, here's this fucker. Okay, I'm going to go to my turn, and I could start on Jace Wielder. Drawing this Consign does give me some pause, though. If Jace Wielder flushes out a Force, I'm in business, but I don't know that he would. Okay. I'm going to play Jace. Okay, that did flush out a Force. I'll take it. And then Solitude, pitching, Yorion, try to clear Nadu. Okay, don't flip any bullshit, please. I love getting 3 for 1 to deal with a creature that may or may not do anything next turn. Okay. The Jace did his job. Now I have to win without Jace in my deck, which is fine. Like, if you just pass with a bunch of damage in play and 7 forces in your hand, it's fine. An early build of this deck had Triskaidekaphile in it, where you win if you have exactly 13 cards in your hand. There wasn't room for that in the final cut, but it was an alternate to Jace. Pondar. They can flip Tamiyo here with a clue, or they could resolve something horrific like Teferi or another Nadu. Okay. Tamiyo it is. And another Ponder. And efficient 60-card decks look so good. 2 consigned to memories. All right. I'm going to play this Tamiyo, and I kind of hope they come up with Illusionist combo this turn. Double consign is a solid way to go. If they come up with Nadu, it's not going to matter. Edge Maze. Kept the card on top. Looks like they're trying to cast Nadu here. Forgot to put blue in their pool. Gross. Yeah, 2 copies of the good card. Alrighty, I do have another Surveil land in my deck. I will use it here to try to find interaction. Undercity Sewer. Show me that plow. Teferi. I'll put Teferi on top. It's not pretty. It does temporarily remove Nadu from play, though. Teferi. And they have a Force of Will for that. Okay. Pitched Thassa's Oracle, so that's not even the win condition anymore. They kept a card on top. Alright, I'm going to attack with Tamiyo and flip it. I'll tap out of Consign for the turn. They just pitched their Thassa's Oracle, so Consign is not going to be a big part of this game. It could counter Shuko, but if they have Nomad on top of their deck, I'd be leaving up mana for no reason. Wait, shit, what the fuck? Oh, they countered the Teferi. In my head, I had already drawn a card from Teferi's minus. That was a huge fucking spew. Now I'm spiraling out. Okay, never mind. My bad. Okay, Saga from the top. 1 card left in hand. They have a clue they can activate, and they can dig with a Ponder. I picked up Force of Will. Yeah, that was really bad. I just forgot my card didn't happen. Okay. Force of Will for me. I'm going to Brainstorm. Looking for outs in hopefully all the right places. Lavinia turns off that Force of Will in their hand, except it doesn't because they have 100,000 mana. Surgical can shuffle my own deck in an emergency situation, which we might be in. Okay, if I put back Surgical and Consign, here I get to cast Lavinia, which they might just counter because it's there. Okay, we're in. Not that it does anything, but we're in. I think I have to counter the make constructs. Okay. They weren't worried about it, is the real answer. Clue eaten, Force of Will unknown in hand. I am going to counter the make constructs trigger. Guess with replicate, I'll replicate it once. And I probably have to counter the tutor trigger as well, because that's just going to be Shuko. And then I have to figure out how I'm going to beat a Nadu after drawing 2 blanks in a row and being at 10 life versus an active Tamiyo. Okay, so I draw, this goes to 7. I draw, this goes to 9. And then I have 1 turn where I have to answer both Tamiyo and Nadu. So I guess I can't actually concede yet, even though I want to. Yeah, they can't even mess up anymore because they pitched their Oracle. Like, they can't even get greedy and lose to a consigned memory. Okay, cast with replicate. I'm replicating it enough that they probably are not going to counter it with multiple counter spells, but also leaving up mana for stuff they have to think about. Though, if I had literally anything, the Nadu wouldn't be in play. Making them think doesn't really matter that much. This is a spot where those Baleful Strix in my sideboard would be great. Ponder. And it's not like countering that countered Shuko. Like, if Shuko was on the stack and I put it in the graveyard, I would feel fine, but they could just ponder into the Shuko. They have Tamio that can ponder again. They can see so many cards here. And all the Nomads are still in there somewhere. Another Saga. The clock's back on. Tamio plus. Yeah, I was strongly considering Surgicaling Urza Saga so they couldn't get that engine going again, but with one in play, it doesn't matter. I've actually had quite enough. I know they have Force in their hand, and that Brainstorm lock, they had the Nadu the whole time instead of just never had an Illusionist, which is what I was ready for. Just 3 ways to blow out an Illusionist line, but they had double Nadu instead of any of those, which is fine. It's part of the plan. They might even cut Illusionist knowing the graveyard hate's coming in. I don't know, but that was a good match.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play in round 3. I'm going to keep my hand. I understand it has weaknesses, but I have a Surveil land. If they are a hyperfast combo deck, Consign to Memory is my most efficient way to interact with that. I get to play this Polluted Delta and pretend I'm going to cast Entomb. Opponent's on 6. Bayou Noble Hierarch. This is probably Cradle Control. Not a lot of decks have those 2 cards in them. Cradle Control or a Brew. We like a Brew. The One Ring. Snap it, keep it. That's a plan. And I'll get my other Surveil land this turn. And then cast Narset and hope to dig for some action. Ignoble Hierarch. I could replicate Consign to Memory to take 0 damage this combat, counter both Exalted triggers. That'll show you. Well, this Narset is good for 1 card, because they have the beats. Undercity Sewer, Brainstorm. That one's actually good. I think I want to cast Narset here and dig for some action. A Swords to Plowshares, a Force of Will. It's a Fairy that gets my combo going. Take the Mind Over Matter. Threaten the combo. Well, I can't take any of those cards. The full miss. You do not love to see it. I got excited by the Solitude for 1 second. I was like, that's good against this deck, but I don't have white card and I can't take it. Perfect. Yeah, if they fetch Dryad Arbor here, they have a creature that could kill Narset outright, and that's the best case scenario. If they just cast Natural Order, I might lose. Goodbye, Narset. I miss you. I hope they're not ready for the One Ring. If they just like proactively Zenith for Collector Oof, or if they just randomly drew their Collector Oof and play it out, because why not? That would be bad. My deck's pretty soft to Collector Oof. This deck also plays Orcish Bowmaster sometimes. I will introduce you to a more powerful Lord of the Rings card. Something's happening. Just flashing an Endurance. Okay. They're going to clear my graveyard while they still can. They are indeed. Well, it's not Orcish Bowmaster. That's good news. Okay. I could play and immediately flip Tamio next turn with the One Ring, if that's even good. Endurance would attack her for 5, which beats her even through her bubble. And if they didn't notice Zenith for Oof last turn, they have that information now. Ramanap Excavator. Okay. Is this not Cradle Control, or have they adopted this card? Is this Maverick? If this is Maverick, that changes things quite a bit. Okay. I'm going to play Tamio, and then I'm going to tap my One Ring, and we'll see what happens. The Swords of Plowshares doing a lot here. And I could Brainstorm in response. Oh my god. We're getting it all. Brainstorm in response. Is there another plow over there? I stay Wiglin. Okay, put back Tundra and Prismatic Vista. Tamio flips. And then I draw Tundra and Prismatic Vista. Plus Tamiyo. And fetching versus playing a land here is pretty interesting. One costs me a life. I do have one basic left in the deck. Do I even want it? All right, I will play Pluto Delta. And I'm going to pass holding up the Swords to Plowshares. Because if this is Maverick, and they do have to beat me with combat, and Natural Order is not coming to save them, that's all good news. Fetched a Forest in the end step, and then didn't do anything with it. Windswept Heath from the graveyard again. The value is unbelievable. Another Hierarch, all right. I'm going to plow this Endurance in response to all the triggers. Ciao. Oh, I should have let the first trigger resolve. I could have given them one less life. All right, slight miscalculation there. All right, I mean, that's good to know, though. If we're playing hyper-technical where every point matters, which is not the case in my combo deck, but if you are in some sort of scrappy mid-range mirror situation, that is something to know, just how abilities trigger, which apparently I don't know. I draw for turn. A Ponder. I could lead on to Fairy, or I could draw my cards first. If I lead on to Fairy, it plays around something like Bowmaster, but then I can't rip my sweet Mind Over Matter. Okay, so I'm actually going to buy back Swords to Plowshares first. I just see black mana over there. I want to respect it. One ring. Found a bunch of goop. I'm going to play Teferi. I'm going to bounce Raminap Excavator, because that's their card that does anything. Prismatic Ending. I could save that. I can play Tamiyo. All right, I'm going to play Tamiyo, cast Prismatic Ending on Ignoble Hierarch, and then leave up Swords to Plowshares, and then I don't have to go to discard. Okay, we're getting close. I just need a Kitten or a Mind Over Matter. And next turn, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, I can get and deploy Kitten if I draw a 0, one of the 5 zeros in my deck. Fetched another Bayou. Nurturing Peatland. That's a draw engine with their Raminap. We're just going for it immediately. I don't care about Tamiyo anymore because I have another one that's going to flip because I'm going to tap my ring and it's not optional. I care a bit about Teferi. The Excavator has returned. Okay, no attack. Didn't even want to taste. All right, I will go to my turn, saving all my cards. 9 life remains. I think I want to fetch my last basic while I still can, just reminding myself, yeah, there are 3. Or I could ignore that. All right. I'm going to plus this Tamiyo, activate the One Ring, or I'll attack first. Might as well get my Clue token. Doesn't hurt anyone to do that. And then I'll tap the ring, flip the new Tamiyo, creating a -2 bubble versus their squad next turn. Plus Teferi, tap the ring. If I just draw Cat straight up, okay, I found a 0. That means I win. I would like to keep this one, plus this one. I even have the kid side plus the thing. It just doesn't matter here. All right. 1, 2, 3. Recruiter. Let's see if my opponent has the decency to concede or if we are going to play this out. Cat and game. Bounce to Fairy. I'm going to make a white. Or no, I'm going to Ponder. No, Ponder doesn't matter. All right. I'm going to bounce their Dryad Arbor. And then Swords to Plowshares, their Raminap Excavator, which will flicker to Fairy. Bounce Mox Amber. Play Mox Amber. I'm just going to kind of alternate spells and stuff until their board is empty. Bounce your Noble Hierarch. Cast Ponder, which will flicker to Fairy. 3 cards I don't care about. Shuffle. Another Amber. I mean, this literally doesn't matter. I'm just going off. Opponent can play as much or as little of this as they like. I don't mind. This combo is not too bad to click through on Magic Online. Okay, cool. They've had enough. I appreciate it, though don't expect it. Supreme Verdict, Engineered Explosives. This does look like Maverick and not Cradle Control. I don't think I want to get onto the Mentor beats. Like, who needs them? In Pursuit of Knowledge, clearly the worst card. Always going to be. Rest in Peace would affect some of the stuff they do, like their Knight of the Reliquary shenanigans, but I can just kill their cards. Consign to Memory doesn't do much unless they do have a big Natural Order pivot. I could bring in one mentor. I can tutor it with my recruiter if it's appropriate at the time. Okay, here we go. Okay, we didn't see a Wasteland last game, but if they are Maverick, they're going to have them. I'm a little worried about it, but I'm not going to mulligan this hand full of cards that are good. Savannah, Hierarch. If I can fetch basic planes this turn, I'll end the Hierarch. If not, I'll just fetch Meticulous Archive. Well, that qualifies, kind of. Alright, I'm just going to play Blue to Delta and pass. This is not a matchup where ramming out Lavinia matters, but it is cool that the deck has the option of turn 1 Lavinia, vintage style. It didn't attack. I'd be really disappointed if I get opposition agented here. Okay, that didn't happen. Lucky. Brainstorm is a card that I like at all times. Okay, how do I want to do this? I'm going to play Underground Sea, and I could just pitch Lavinia and cast Narset here. They're probably representing Endurance for 3 mana, which none of my stuff stops or really cares about. Lavinia doesn't do much either. She turns on Mox Amber, which is good, but so does many other cards in my deck. I could just tutor Displacer Kitten here. I'm going to do that, actually. Narset's just going to die to Endurance, who cares? And if they got me with the Patience, and now they opposition agent, that would be really impressive. I would like to use the ability. Displacer Kitten in my hand. Pass the turn. Having a dual land Chrome Mox is pretty sick here. Pitching a gold card always feels great to that. It's a shame you can't pitch Baleful Strix to this, or else life would be great, but they're from different eras of Magic where non-artifact card, it could have said colorless card if it was printed today. Alright, played around that one by not deploying my Brainstorm. Wasteland is concerning. Good thing I have this dual land. Though the Chrome Mox is soft to Collector Oof and Outland Liberator and things of that nature. Ramming up Excavator would be devastating here too. No thank you. Get your 2 damage in. Knight of the Reliquary, here we go. The Wasteland machine is online. I did not draw a land, which means I have to just end the Orcish Bowmaster and try to Brainstorm out of this next turn, because Knight of the Reliquary can Wasteland me for the next 3 turns. Yeah, if blue-white decks lose to Maverick, this is how it happens. It's either Sylvan Safekeeper or a Chain of Wastelands, and we are in that zone right now. They're attacking for 2. The Knight did not attack. Do they want Wasteland, or are they going to hold up like the Talon Gates to phase out my Displacer Kitten if I jam it? I would just Wasteland here. You don't need to phase out a card that is uncastable. They kept their card on top, which is now pretty awkward if they were intending on Wastelanding or using Knight at all. Lotus Field. Oh, I literally don't have 2 lands. I got so excited. All right, Brainstorm. Don't get me with the second Bowmaster. Man, Lotus Field would have solved this so hard. Okay. Put away Narset and probably Mind Over Matter. This is a trigger, though. They can Wasteland a land in response. Like, this isn't as it enters. Lotus Field, you are so close to being useful. I don't think I can even keep the card, though. Too low on resources to try to make a game out of that. And now, do they shuffle away the card they just surveilled at the top, or do they take their medicine and not use Knight this turn? Okay. Whatever's on top is worth not using Knight of the Reliquary at all for. Oh, it's the Wasteland already. Yeah, that works. I respect it. Get me dead in 2 hits, or continue holding up the toolbox. All right, toolbox it is. I got basic lands. You think I don't? I'm going to fetch Island here. Island. White card. Land. Ooh, okay. Land, cast Narset. Hope Narset digs into a white card. And then I have access to Solitude. And maybe we can start breaking out of this. Narset. Okay. Brainstorm. Monastery Mentor goes away. I don't have a lot of white spells in the deck that Narset can grab. I boarded out my Pursuit of Knowledge. Oh no. Okay, Knight's doing its thing. Wasteland, no surprise there. Wasted. Dried Arbor from hand. Are they going to put any energy on Narset, or is it time to actually kill me and win the game? Alright, yep, they're just putting me on a 1-turn clock here. Good call. It does give me a turn with Narset and Brainstorm. If I could find a white card. Narset, help me out here. Ooh. Mox Amber. Oh, this Teferi is like so close to good. I think I have to take the Teferi. It's just a white card for Solitude. Yeah, I can't brainstorm into 2 mana here to make the Mox Amber any good right now. All right, I'll take Teferi, and I'll cast Brainstorm and hopefully not die to a Bowmaster. Baleful Strix. A new challenger appears. Okay, so if I fetch and force, I'm at 1. I need the Solitude, I need the Teferi. One Ring is extremely dangerous at 1 life. Mind Over Matter is not happening, but it's a great card to pitch to Force of Will. Right, I think I have to put back 1 ring and... Dang, I just need every card here. Put back both 1 rings. Does that even... What does that even do? Alright, I lose a Time Walk there. I'll fetch one of the Underground Seas in my deck. Go to 2. Force of Will puts me to 1 if I need to use it. Strix, first appearance in the league. Excited to see it. Black Splash, worth it all along. Engineered Explosives. That card's almost good. Swords to Plowshares. Okay, I go to 3. I'm going to wait till the knight attacks and then Solitude it. If they attack with anything else, I'm not dead. And if they attack with that... Okay. They're ignoring the Exalted to put me to 1. Good call. If they have something like Crop Rotation here to protect their knight, they win. Because I can't force it, I'll be at 1. Okay, Force of Will is off. I'm at 1 life. Oh, they were attacking Teferi with one of these. I didn't even notice. Alright, I'm at 2. Force of Will's on. This is actually insane. If their hand is blank, it's not. Okay. No. Okay, so extra 1, play Displacer Kitten, play Engineered Explosives for 0, Flicker Chrome Mox, can't activate it. Alright, GG. That was a tight one. 3 Wastelands and it still came down. I think if I'm at 4 life there instead of 2, we're still playing. Okay, do I want the Mentors in higher numbers? They don't seem well positioned to really beat a Monastery Mentor. They have their Plows in, but I think I do want this Juke available. And Lotus Field is so sick if I could stick it under their nonsense, but if they just have a Wasteland, it's much worse. Okay, I'm going to cut Lotus Petal. It barely counts as a land, or Lotus Field. It barely counts as a land anyway. Okay, I'm going to keep my hand. I can lead on Tamiyo, and if they want to Wasteland me under the gun versus Tamiyo, that's fine. Tamiyo Quick Flip is something I'm always interested in. Have Baleful Strix and the mana to cast it. Soft to Wasteland, but my deck can cantrip a lot right now. Coming for you with the Tamiyo. Scrubland, white mana, Swords to Plowshares, deal. Okay, that Mox Amber is pretty interesting. I'm going to just cast my Baleful Strix off of Underground Sea. There's no Scrubland in the deck. Not that I'd want one here. Strix. Mostly just looking for mana here and making sure Wasteland doesn't cheese me out. Okay, pass the turn. Bowmaster kills my Strix cleanly here. Green Sun Zenith for 0. Thoughtseize, ew. I'm gonna lose my Plow here. Everything else is either replaceable or worthless, and Plow is one of the highest value cards in the matchup. Once again, my big ponderous Esper deck, soft to Thoughtseize. Who could have predicted this? Force of Will, right on time. I wasn't gonna force that Thoughtseize anyway. Oh, okay. This is big. I'm going to put back Kitten and the One Ring. And then I have Tamiyo that I can brainstorm to flip on their turn if they try to mess with her. I've already drawn 3 cards this turn, so I can't ponder right now and get paid. Exciting. I'm not going to attack because damage is not really my plan. And even if I do end up with a Monastery Mentor, that thing scales so hard that a chip shot with Baleful Strix this early isn't really going to make the difference. Volrath Stronghold, heck yeah, let's go. It's jarring to see a Magic Online reprint of a reserve list card IRL. Like, this should not exist, this treatment. But, I mean, it's cool that cards are accessible and stuff, but damn. Abrupt Decay. Well, I'll brainstorm in response. They can't cast Bowmaster with what they have. Okay. Do I think this is worth Force of Will? I think I do, actually. If this is the fight we're fighting, let's have it. Okay, Brainstorm, Re-Tamiyo. I am about to have to draw through multiple 4-drops in a spot where I don't really have any mana. Don't love that. Plus Tameo, play different Tameo. And I will attack for 1 this time because I have a Tameo bubble and a 0/3 in front. So they would need 4 power to get through here, which is hard to come by. And I can't block Questing Beast anyway. I don't know if they're playing Questing Beast anymore, but it is a card that has been played in these style of decks before. It would ruin me here, just for the record, in case anyone hasn't read a Magic card before. Knight of the Reliquary. Okay, this is jamming straight into my Swords to Plowshares that's face up. But you got to do what you got to do. If they pitch cast an Endurance here, that's a 2-for-1. Walrus Stronghold will not save you from exile. And I am going to try to get a clue here. I do need to start finding Magic cards. Baleful Strix, got to hold off this Dryad Arbor. Lush Portico. Show me the actual good creature you cared about. White of the Reliquary. All right. This one has to sack creatures, which are not as plentiful as our lands. Okay, I like that. Oh. Plus Tameo. Yeah, this doesn't actually do a great job. I could over 2 turns, play it for 2, then bomb it for 2. Or I can try to hit my land drops now that I'm pretty interested in doing. Beestorm. Okay, that's a replacement Tameo in the bank. If they do just decide to sack a creature and wasteland me, or the land enters tapped with this one. Modern design, they don't build them like they used to. They could do a cool trick where they sack Dryad Arbor, and in response to this ability, put Dryad Arbor on top of the deck and put Dryad Arbor into play. Boom. Combo. Yeah, here's the Bowmaster that has been looming over this whole game for a while. In addition to clearing the runway for a really good attack here, it also gives many creatures for White of the Reliquary to convert into Wastelands. So this goes down to 1, and then they can activate it before damage, but they didn't. All right. Yeah, I mean, they know I'm struggling, and this Bowmaster means this Brainstorm in my hand is even worse than advertised. Knight of the Reliquary now. Okay. Can I have some lands? All right. What do I do with this information? Yeah, just missing these lands is so devastating. And they haven't even wastelanded me yet, but now they can multiple times next turn put me to 0 lands in play. If I play explosives on 2, they can tutor up 2 wastelands and put me to 0 lands, and I will not have lands anymore to even blow up the white or the orc. I think I have to pass here and hope for a miracle, like Brainstorm on their turn. Maybe they make a weird attack. If I Brainstorm on my turn, their triggers will kill Tameo before Tameo flips. If I Brainstorm on their turn, it's the opposite. I think. Pretty sure. They sacked the Orcish Bowmaster, not the Orc Army. Does this say non-token on it? It does not. Okay. They're Bajuka bogging me. Sure. That gives me a big window to do something. Are they going to buy back the Bowmaster immediately in their upkeep? Okay, right now I have the opportunity to draw a card with my Clue or cast Brainstorm. I think I'm going to use my Clue. Just looking for a white card. Or a land. Alright, a land, we did it. Okay, Bowmaster is back in their hand. Going for my graveyard rather than aggressively wasting me while I'm screwed is curious. Sacking Lush Portico with Knight of the Reliquary. Karak is pretty powerful. Goodbye, Tameo. Never shall you exist again. If they want to sack Knight of the Reliquary, Dryad Arbor, or Orcish Bowmaster, they could put 2 damage on Tameo this turn. I mean, the Bowmaster can ping it as well. They can't quite clear it. They also just crossed under 5 minutes on their clock, which they shouldn't need. Their board is getting pretty serious here. This game has gone on quite a while. Okay, they are sacking Dryad Arbor to get the boost. Now it's Wasteland time. Tameo's at 2. Baleful Strix. Knowing the Bowmaster's in their hand. What a beat. Okay, Polluted Delta. Explosives for 2 would kill White of the Reliquary and Bowmaster. Okay. White, black. Explosives for 2. If they flash in Bowmaster in the end step, I can fetch basic and brainstorm in response and at least see some cards before I'm locked out. And those cards might even be white for this Solitude. Okay, they're holding that Bowmaster, holding it tight. Keep it secret, keep it safe. Wasteland, here we go. It's time, it's finally time. Played their land for turn. Knight of the Reliquary is still good for a Wasteland, but they need Knight of the Reliquary to kill Tamiyo. And White of the Reliquary lands enter tapped. They shrink the squad, and then Tamiyo dies. Okay, they can zoom out their Bowmaster if they have the land. And this Orc army will be 5 power if I just send Brainstorm right now. I can't actually do that. Okay, I'm going to fetch a basic island here. As much as I'd like to surveil, I think this Engineered Explosives is necessary to exist. Can I draw a land? No, not a land, not a white card. Nothing useful. They've been really tight with their Bowmaster. They're doing a great job protecting potential blowouts with their sequencing. Sacrificing Orc army to get another Wasteland. They're wasting now, which means I have to explode now. If they flash in Bowmaster, okay, they didn't. Yeah, they're just not going to let me have any room to breathe, which is really smart. I think a messier player may have just played the Bowmaster at some point, or maybe in response to that Engineered Explosives picked up or played the Bowmaster, sacked the Bowmaster to get the Talent Gates and phase out the white. But instead, they're just making sure I cannot cantrip and find any purchase here. A white card. Oh my god. I didn't know those were actually in my deck. Okay. Pitch Teferi to Solitude. They have 2 cards in their hand. One of them's Orcish Bowmaster, and the other is White of the Reliquary. If they flash in Bowmaster in the end step, which they probably should, I'll Brainstorm in response. And if they had more than 2 minutes on their clock, I would say just hold the Bowmaster. Okay, and they are still playing Disciplined even under the clock. This Volrath Stronghold has been awesome. I honestly love losing to cards like Volrath Stronghold. If I'm going to lose games of Legacy to archetypes that haven't changed since 2010, this is how I want it to happen. This is a 3/3. Oh my goodness. This is not a drill team. I drew a land. I will pass the turn. Orcish Bowmaster just hard-locking Baleful Strix. And just paying the max from their comfortable 26 life they were at. Hierarch. That is both a tutor and cuts a turn off the clock. I think I have to fetch Meticulous Archive this turn. Being at 2 is really bad, but I'm dead anyway. Knight of the Reliquary. My opponent's going to use every part of the Buffalo here. Just kill me with 20 seconds left on their clock. I respect it. Meticulous Archive. Monastery Mentor, you fucker. Dated you about 65 turns ago. Baleful Strix that I can't cast. If I play this Brainstorm, I just lose. I guess I'll deploy this Tamiyo. And they left up Caracas plus Bowmaster mana, just the perfect lineup. They're bouncing Tamiyo now. If I cast Brainstorm, I lose. Alright. Tamiyo's back in my hand. Just the hard lock. I'm going to Brainstorm before combat. Maybe this will take 20 seconds to resolve. Come on, lag. Save me. Okay. I'm dead unless it takes them 9 seconds to resolve this, which it shouldn't. 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my god. Well, I don't feel good about that, but we're on the board. On to the next round. Ding, 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 ding. Play faster, everybody.
The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with The Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables.
I'm on the play in round number 4 with a turn 1 Planeswalker. I think I'm just going to send it. I'm going to go Underground Sea, Tamiyo. I don't want them to force the Tamiyo if they know Mox Amber is possible. And if they want to force the Mox Amber, the Brainstorm, that's fine. Sick. And Force of Will backup, let's go. Put back Island and the One Ring. I did that backwards, should have put the One Ring on top. Hopefully I'm not punished too hard. Prismatic Vista. I will Force of Will a Prismatic Ending here. Ooh, it's not that. Your own Tamiyo. Okay, this is why it's a punish, the way I stacked the pile. Because I want to remove their Tamiyo. Oh, I did stack it correctly. All right. Ignore my my ramblings. I thought I put the island back on top. I don't mind shuffling at the island. I would have been bummed to shuffle away the One Ring. Plus, pass. If I draw a mana source and have a turn 3 One Ring after turn 1 Planeswalker, this is going to be the dream. Brainstorm resolves. This Amber taps for green right now, just in case I need it. Tamiyo Seasoned Scholar is blue and green. I've already used my Prismatic Ending, though, which I think is the only card that would care about green mana. Another island. That doesn't remove Tamiyo, probably. Bonder, okay. The runway's wide open to rip my land here. I could end step Brainstorm, give myself more looks at land, and then I could just use Tamiyo to buy back Brainstorm if I want force backup. I don't think I want to do that, though, because Tamiyo can go ultimate next turn if I'm just patient. Oh, wow. And I can keep hitting bangers. Narset on the stack. They probably have to interact with this, whatever this 2 islands deck is. They are also a Daze deck. This is not the real fight. Keeping Tamiyo in play until next turn when I draw half my deck is the real fight. And because I'm a Yorion deck, I draw more cards than normal. Okay. Stifle is a card I have some concern about here. Okay. Island. I'll draw my deck. Okay. They do have Stifle. I'll force that. Ooh, beast mode. We are going to have a game after all. All right, I don't draw my deck. I will play the One Ring. That's in. Okay, and Displacer Kitten right on top. This match is interesting. I think I'm against Mono Blue Delver, which is not a... Oh, Mono Blue Dreadnought. Okay. Or they're just missing a color. Either one makes sense to me. Okay, backup Ring. That is literally perfect. Plus Tamiyo. Displacer Kitten. I'm going to play Kitten, and I'm going to pass the turn if it resolves. I don't need to flicker anything here, and if they try to kill my Kitten, I can plow Curie and flicker Kitten in response. Flickering the ring does not give me ring protection. That's only if you cast it. Or, yeah, if you cast it. I had to remember if it was if you cast it or if it came in from your hand, but it is if you cast it. The one thing they did to balance the One Ring was making sure you can't just blink it for infinite protection. Okay, another color revealed. Well, probably blue-white Dreadnought then. Oh, wow. Blue-red. Lightning Bolt. I will respond to that with Swords to Plowshares on Curie and Flicker the Cat. This at least counters Lightning Bolt. If they have a Stifle, they could get away with this. I don't care if Plow resolves. Oh, okay. Good play. The Stifle deck lining up well against what I'm doing here. But they have... That did flush out an extra card. I have a One Ring and a Planeswalker active versus their 1 card in the end. One Ring finds Baleful Strix. Okay, they just had enough. They don't even care what I'm doing. That is fair. Okay, we're against some sort of, is it potentially 3-color, probably Dreadnought deck? Engineered Explosive, Supreme Verdict. Flusterstorm is really going to stifle. My mana is pretty dodgy. Imagine getting Pursuit of Knowledge stifled. Unplayable. Witch Enchanter kills Dreadnought or Curie. I'll take that. It's tutorable with Recruiter of the Guard. That's just good deck building. Pat myself on the back. Consigned to Memory can counter a Dreadnought. I don't think that's how I want to fight this fight, though. Okay, here's my plan. Let's get it. My hand only has 1 land. I'm soft to Wasteland and Stifle. I didn't see Wasteland, but that doesn't mean they don't have it. Being just dead to Stifle sucks really bad. I am going to keep, though. Island Ponder keep is a lifestyle. Okay, cool. We got away with it. We're going to at least get to Gas Ponder. Dumped a Dreadnought into the bin. Dreadnought confirmed. There wasn't much doubt, but any doubt is removed now. Tundra, because Plains doesn't cast Ponder. Okay, another land and Solitude white card. I don't think I can afford to shuffle away a land here, but I am going to be without a land drop for one turn. So very worried about Wasteland, not worried about Stifle, is where I'm at right now. Ponder. Do not shuffle, played Scalding Tarn, cool. Tamiyo, we don't like that one. I am going to Swords of Plowshares Tamiyo immediately. I can pay for days and I can fluster Force. They probably don't mind seeing Tamiyo go away though if they're working towards a 12-12. Bad news, danger, danger. Wee-oo. All right, I'm gonna float a blue. Luckily they went after my black source instead of my white. White is my actual relevant cards here. Counterbalance, my goodness. All right. Now I'm drawing to Fairy, and then I am sitting on my hands until I draw 2 more lands before they draw another Wasteland or another Stifle. Oh no. Okay, some weird Magic Online rule. All right, never mind. That does not affect me. All right, I'll float a blue and then hope my next 3 draws are lands. The Solitude does give me some play here. At least I have that going for me. Curie. I'm going to go to my turn and draw, see if I find a land. I can at least play around days if I'm given the option here. Cool. Okay, now I can just cast Swords to Plowshares. Do I play around the 3rd Wasteland? Can I afford to? I don't think I can afford to. I'm just going to fetch another Tundra, and if they got it, they got it. Okay, the top of the deck is not set up right now, but 1 is probably the most common spell. Yeah, I dodged. Okay, they're drawing Volcanic Island. And they watched me miss a land drop, so they know I did just rip that. There's the Volk. Blood Moon. Well, gross. I have a few basics in here, but you're probably better off in this situation than I am. Prismatic Ending. Not helpful. Basic Mountain playing around their own Blood Moon. That was smart. Good deck building. Witch Enchanter. I'm just going to play the Witch Meadow. I am not anywhere near my Plains, even though the Plains would enable me to kill Blood Moon or Counterbalance. Or Dreadnought. Okay. The One Ring is castable with Mountains. And I doubt they have many 4-drops in the deck to counterbalance it. Oh, this is a card I play. Well, moment of truth. Please don't reveal a 0. There's a lot of lands in their deck. Brainstorm on top. This does break me out pretty incredibly. Unless they could sign the trigger, that would be so sick. They could have consigned the cast. So, all right, Stifle is not how that works. All right. Fair enough. Got my Chrome Mox Stifle to keep me under Blood Moon. Incredible amount of triggered abilities in my deck. Ponder, can't cast that. Okay, I probably just discard Flusterstorm. Though if I draw basic Island, Flusterstorm Protecting Ring is a real sequence. I'm going to discard Ponder. If I draw my basic Island, I'm just going to start jamming Rings and Kittens. I'm not pondering anymore this game. Dreadnought. You got it. Stifle. Okay. Force of Will is a card they play, and Solitude costs 5. I'm going to go to my turn and see if I draw anything useful. I did not. I'm going to pitch to Fairy. He's really far away from being useful here. Don't reveal Force. Don't reveal Force. Prismatic Vista. Okay. And they don't have blue up to stifle the Solitude trigger. Okay. Cleared that bar. They've got Brainstorm, Prismatic Vista, 2 unknowns in the hand. If they hold that Vista, that means Brainstorm can counter future Chrome Moxen. But are you ready for this? Consign gets it. Stifle doesn't. With 59 cards in my deck, I might just die to my ring before I find my basics, but it would be nice to have access to this one. Didn't bother revealing, probably just don't play 4-drops. Okay, please don't have Hull Breacher. Swords to Plowshares in my hand now. Okay, they're just playing draw go with me. I'm going to be drawing on my turn because hitting the land drop matters. I can Explosives for 1, and I can pay 3 to do it. Okay, this is a 3-mana Explosives for 1. I'm just trying to play around Counterbalance with weird costs, but this will kill a future Dreadnought, which is something I care about. Lightning Bolt on top. That is of mild concern, given that my One Ring is killing me. The 3rd Wasteland appeared. Flooded Strand in my hand. One ring. Found 4 lands. I think I can afford to discard several of them. I can Prismatic Ending with just a Plains on Counterbalance. Yeah, I think Flusterstorm's out. Drawing another ring along the chain resets it. Classic ring gaming. My forces are still in. Oh my goodness. Suddenly. Okay, I'm going to draw cards first. See if I can find an answer to that lightning bolt, and I did. All right, I'm going to play Displacer Kitten. It's time. Counterbalance. Is it good for 4? If this kitten resolves, I get to immediately flicker my One Ring, and I'm under no damage pressure anymore. Another Blood Moon on top. Don't care. I'm going to play this Chrome Mox and use it to flicker One Ring. We'll see if they use their Brainstorm here to counter the Chrome Mox. It's probably worth doing. Lightning Bolting my cat. I'm going to force the Lightning Bolt and flicker the Chrome Mox that's already in play. Force pitching Brainstorm probably? Or is it Tameo? I think it's Brainstorm. Force pitching Brainstorm. Yeah, I'm going to flicker the Chrome Mox that's in play. I could flicker the cat to protect it even if they counter the force, but having mana here is better. What a stack. Displacer Kitten Gaming is awesome. Here's the Brainstorm. We know they have access to a 0 and a 3, and then they're looking at 5 other cards as well. A Counterbalance trigger. Is there a force here? Another bolt on the cat. Okay. The cat's dead. What else are we doing? The Displacer Kitten flicker. I'm going to exile. It should be a white card. I'm going to exile Swords to Plowshares because I think Prismatic Ending is more useful to me. And are they going to reveal the land? Yep, countered the other one. That's fine. And then at the end of the chain, the One Ring resets. And I can't cast zeros this turn. I can get rid of Counterbalance this turn. Don't really want to play against that card anymore. There's a 0 on top of their deck. So I'm not going to overpay for this. I don't have to. Overpaying would just put me into soft permission range. Wowee. I'm having a good time. Yeah, I'll draw with the ring. What the heck? Oh my goodness. If I play that under Blood Moon, it just arrives with no drawback. And then if I clear the Blood Moon, it's a Lotus Field. I don't think that's actually going to be my plan, but I'm excited about it. Okay, they're just passing with all their mana up. Take 1 from the ring now. I drew a Plains. This means Recruiter of the Guard for Displacer Kitten gets me back in business. Or I could Tameo first. That flips into a Planeswalker. Would flush out something like Pyroblast. Okay, I'm going to play Tameo first. This also just like gives me blue mana off Mox Amber, which Kitten doesn't do in the opposite order. Okay. I am going to now... Do I want to cast Mox Amber first? Or I guess I have to. All right, I'll play Mox Amber. Because they can't bolt the Tameo, or I'll flip it with the One Ring, just at will. They had enough. That was very exciting. A genuine win just by playing the cards that are in my deck. Feels good, man. On to the final round. We're a few rounds into the video. If you're still here and having fun, remember to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, use code BOSH for 5% off your order at toamagic.com. Eternal lives here. I am on the play in the final round. Positive record on the line. I'm going to keep this hand and hope the matchup is about slow, fair stuff. I've got a Meticulous Archive I can fetch, a 2-drop that cantrips, and then a variety of powerful 3s. Bloodstained Mire. Bad news, team. If this is like Dimir tempo, it might be okay, but Bloodstained Mire is usually in Storm or Reanimator, Swamp focus decks. I'll keep a Ponder. I think I'm still gonna... I was about to say I'm still gonna play Baleful Strix, but maybe this Ponder is better if I find a force that gives me something to do. Okay, I'm gonna go Underground Sea Ponder. Let's see if I was right. Displacer Kitten's there. We've got a plan. Force of Will to the hand, and fingers crossed. End step fetch. Undercity Sewer. Wasteland's horrendous for me, but what else is new? Not a Wasteland, we dodged. Thoughtseize. Stop. Okay, I'm not going to give them 2 cards off this. If I force it, the force is still gone. And maybe they're not worried about force. If this is like Dimir Tempo, okay, they took the Narset instead. Now we know. I'm going to start ramming Teferis in there. Minus, put Displacer Kitten in my hand. They had a chance to clear force and they didn't take it, which makes me think that, okay, Brainstorm makes sense if they were worried about Narset. They're either not an unfair deck or they're an unfair deck that needs more time to set up. This could be Doomsday. They would be more worried about Narset on this board than like a Storm Reanimator deck would be. Another Swamp. Orcish Bowmaster. I don't really want to force this. I don't have to. I could. Okay, you can have your Bowmaster. I can plow that, play Strix, move on with my life. Hopefully hit a land drop. We did it. Okay. I'm going to plow this Bowmaster first. And I didn't get dazed last turn. Yeah, I'll go for the other Teferi now. Tundra. I guess I should have seen if Teferi resolves first, if I was going to do it like this. Mind over matter. Okay, we've got a plan. Ponder. I'm at the point where Chrome Mox or Mox Amber off the top win the game. And that's only true if Teferi's still there. They did not shuffle. Snapcaster Mage. I don't want them to do this. I'm going to force pitching Mind Over Matter, because I really don't want to get Thoughtseized here. I'm so close to my combo. Them seeing Mind Over Matter hit the exile zone, I'm sure giving pause. All right, Mox Amber off the top for the win. Ponder. Okay. I'm going to play Ponder first. Jace Wielder, Pursuit of Knowledge, land. I don't want any of this. I mean, Jace Wielder is solid if they are a fair deck. Like, if this is just like Grixis control, if they... Like, Snapcaster is weird. I no longer think we're against a combo deck. Like, Jace Wielder for the energy is solid. This is turn 5. I do have a land drop. Okay, so Pursuit, Jace Wielder, Marsh Flats, don't shuffle. Play Marsh Flats, Black-Blue, draw, Jace Wielder, and pass. I have another Surveil land I can dig up here. A 0-drop wins the game. Teferi no longer dies to Bowmaster. If we get combo killed here, I'll be impressed. All right, which of my engines do you want? Thoughtseize remains incredible against my strategy. But I have sculpted 2 bangers here. Took the Jace, okay. They're going to reveal red. Oh, it is Grixis. A Kolagon's Command clears everything here. Because they can deal 2 to Teferi, make me discard a card, and then I just have to win with Baleful Strix. Don't love that. A Lightning Bolt clears Teferi. Oh, the nuts. Oh, they left me with the Kitten, though. Okay. I'll take the Kitten. Get my Undercity Sewer. And we know we're against Grixis control now. Ponder. I'll put that on top. Ponder. Brainstorm, Force. I think I'm going to go Force, Brainstorm. And then just put Yorion in my hand. I don't want to just play Displacer Kitten out into Lightning Bolt. And next turn, if they Bolt Kitten, I can Brainstorm and move that away. If they just Thoughtseize me here, I can Brainstorm and hide the good cards. This match is going to be good, at least. We're going to have some back and forth fun stuff going on. Did not shuffle their Ponder. Tamiyo is real good. They've already drawn 2 cards this turn. Okay. It's my turn now. Cast Displacer Kitten. Protect it with Brainstorm. And Force of Will. Tamiyo's going to start doing stuff. Drawing another Force. Don't love that. This Yorion is basically just a blue card. Who do we have? Kaito? Something's happening. Cool. And they left up red instead of blue. They could have redeployed Tamiyo here and did not allow their land to do that, which tells me I think they have Lightning Bolt, or they're looking for Lightning Bolt. They surveilled 2 lands to the graveyard. Powerful. And then had another land. And Tamiyo's back. Okay. I could play Yorion, which is just a big creature. And then I have Force of Will that can protect Displacer Kitten. Or I could Brainstorm and leave Force up. I think I want to Brainstorm here. They can't Bowmaster right now. They could Lightning Bolt, but I can move that away. Mox Amber, Solitude. That's interesting. Mox Amber's not that interesting, but I can pitch cast Solitude. Target Tamiyo, cast Brainstorm, flicker Solitude. There's action here. Okay, I'm going to put back Mox Amber, and I guess it has to be one of the forces. And then I'll pass the turn. This Kaito is going to be a problem. I'm not allowed to touch that at the time that I would need to. Tamiyo's attacking. I kind of want to wait for the Tamiyo trigger to be on the stack before I try to remove it, because it's so easy to save it with a Brainstorm or Crack a Clue. Okay, Surveil 2, draw a card. Dumped Cling to Dust. They draw a card here. This trigger's now on the stack, which means they can't draw a card in response. Solitude, exiling Yorion. Force of Will on the Solitude is annoying. Okay. Target that. And do I want to Brainstorm here? I think I do. Flicker Solitude. If they have Bowmaster, it's really bad for me. Lightning Bolt, targeting Solitude. Okay, so they're leaving me with my Kitten. I like that. Unless they also have Bowmaster. Or Fatal Push, or anything else. Okay, we got through that. I'm going to leave Force in my hand with the Brainstorm on top. Now I can hard cast Force. I can attack Kaito. Put damage on this the only way I know how. They have so many cards in their hand, though. And this is going to attack for 4 and then 5. And then I'm at 1. I can block and Brainstorm to flicker the blocker out. That is something I have access to. The idea would just be finding a Teferi, but I've already been through 2 of them. Okay. I'm going to attack Kaito, because I can play Mox Amber to untap my Displacer Kitten, at the very least, if I want the blocker. Orcish Bowmaster. Well, I don't want to play against that. I'm going to target nothing with Displacer Kitten, because I do want the damage to go through. Okay, Force pitching Murktide. Now Kaito will be 5. If I force, I'm at 1. Or I'm at 0. Like, I'm at 1 right now. And I definitely just lose if this Bowmaster happens, though. Alright. Sucks to suck. Force pitching Bowmaster. Not untapping anything. This has been a impressive dismantling of Displacer Kitten. Normally, once this card's in play, while your opponent still has cards in their hand, it becomes very hard to win, but they did a good job killing all the cards that Displacer Kitten would care about. Mox Amber. Untap the Kitten. I'm dead to any removal spell. Any Lightning Bolt. Okay. Any Edict effect. GG. Alrighty. Just a few cards short at the end of that chain. Or Kaito really is the thing that did it. I might be interested in the Mentor pivot here. Pursuit of Knowledge. Once again, I promise I cleared it with the deck stoner that this card's real bad and I don't want to play with it. We drew cards with it once, and now I'm actually trying to put up a positive record with this deck. They're going to have Pyroblast now. That card's real scary. Consigned to Memory doesn't do much here. Like, they have Snapcaster Mage. Engineered Explosives could clear Kaito. I'd rather just combo through it. I just don't know if they're going to let me do that. Let's find out. I'm doing it like this. The Mentor Juke is in. Oh my goodness, the Lotus Field. It's here. This hand's pretty bad against Thoughtseize, but I am going to keep it. You know I can't escape an Island Ponder. Mind Over Matter, Ponder. Okay, I'm going to put Ponder on top of my deck and draw Mind Over Matter, revealing the entire combo. I'm just hiding my Ponder from Thoughtseize. That's the card I actually care about here. And them having Kolagon's Command means running out of Chrome Mox is not necessarily the best idea. Okay, Ponder. Brainstorm Baleful Strix. I like both of those. Okay, put the Strix in my hand. Play Flooded Strand. Undercity Sewer. Crack and a Fetch. They're not fetching basics, which is good. Grixis can play Blood Moon, which I don't really want to have to play around. Okay, I could play Baleful Strix and Lotus Field here. Is Lotus Field even a card that I want or care about, is the question. I could also Brainstorm, then Strix. Okay, I'm going to Brainstorm. I have some cards I could get rid of here, I think it's safe to say. Lotus Field is one of them. And Chrome Mox. Chrome Mox with the Kitten does get the party going. I guess I don't need all of these lands. This is so many lands. Okay, I'm going to put back Prismatic Vista and the other thing. I'm going to get a basic island just in case my opponent is inclined to cast a Blood Moon at some point. Now I have a blocker, so Kaito can't jump in here for freezies. Bowmaster. I don't like it, but at least it's not Kaito. I could just cast Solitude here. Depending on what I draw for the Chrome Mox, I'll consider it. Jace Wielder. Okay, I'd have to pitch Mind Over Matter. I don't think I'll miss that. Chrome Mox. Exile Mind Over Matter. Get a basic Plains. And cast Solitude. Let's clear that Bowmaster. Clear it for good. Bonder. Drawing a Brainstorm, I think, is one of my best cards here. Brainstorm or Swords to Plowshares. If I can resolve this cat and then also have an instant to flicker Solitude or cat as needed, that's where I want to be. That's not that. It could be. I could play Jace Wielder and see what happens. Probably just gets Pyroblasted. Okay. Jace Wielder on the stack. I'm not going to play around Spell Pierce because I really want this archive to do something. Okay. Jace resolved. Milling them might be a mistake. We've seen Snapcaster and Cling to Dust, but milling myself, I do have important one-ofs in my deck. Okay, I'm going to mill my opponent and draw a card. I understand I am feeding them value here. Okay, Meticulous Archive, get in. I now have Force Blue card, but it'll cost me my kitten to do it. Amber does not go off with Jace. I'm going to bin this Amber, though it would have been nice with the Solitude. Not attacking here. Bowmaster, wow. Okay, they didn't do that in response to Jace's activation, and it could have killed Solitude. And now here it is. Interesting. Why are they leaving Jace? I don't know. That's weird to me. I mean, they must have a plan. They know their hand and stuff, but they could have killed the Solitude for free here and didn't. Lightning Bolt. Force Pitching Kitten. They have 1, 2, 3, 4 damage here. Okay. Solitude's dead. Like, if I draw one ring or something, I would prefer to have Force Blue card still available. Or if I draw a blue card to just protect my kitten. Here's 5 to Jace. Narset. That card is very hard for me to play through. Disappointing. All right, even my kitten lines don't work through Narset. All right, how about the one ring off the top? Let's do it. We got the Manamo, we're ready to go. Jace Wielder, I'm gonna mill them again. I can't not draw cards here. They're still going face, still ignoring Jace. This Baleful Strix was born to die. Teferi. Oh, the poor cat. We were so close, team. Okay, I can play Teferi, bounce Orc Army, turn the 4/4 into a 1/1, and Teferi just dies again. I actually don't think that's that bad. Okay, bounce Orc Army. Just treading water like crazy here. Tameo. That card has words on it. Alright, get in there. Mighty 0/3 blocker, just what the doctor ordered. I'm definitely losing this game, by the way. It's like one ring or bust at this point. Another Lightning Bolt. Now Jace is gone. The one ring rips pretty hard because I do have the Manamo. They're now sending everything at Jace. Brainstorm. I hope they thought sees me right now. Okay, end step. Get the Undercity Sewer. My last moment of hope for selection. One ring. Not Prismatic Vista. One ring. Alright, Tamio, you're in there. Get it done, lady. And I'll dump out the Manamo. We've seen Kolagon's command. They clearly don't have Thoughtseize. They're fetching in their upkeep. This is basically the nightmare, by the way. If I had to construct a matchup that was interested in playing Magic, like other than like Oops All Spells or whatever versus my chunky Yorion deck, but a fair matchup that wanted to play back and forth, I think Grixis Control is about as bad as it gets. Oh, we have Kaito too. Love it. It's going to pick up Strix. 5/6, pick up Strix. There it goes. Can't even untap it because it has Hexproof. Poor Manamo. Okay, they're surveilling too. Shoulder's Edict, Force of Will. Dump to Force Will. So they either already have one or don't have a blue card. And we know they have Baleful Strix, so I assume they already have a Force of Will. Okay, I'm dead. GG's. Absolutely devastated by Grixis Control, a deck that I think is actually really good right now, which we can verify by James Cassau's 16 trophies up here. 2-3 record. I won one of those games fair and square. We were doing stuff. Displacer Kitten combo in a Yorion shell is not embarrassing. This is a reasonable engine on its own. We get to play a ton of powerful planeswalkers. The Mox Amber Tameo interaction is preposterous. That's just straight up Mox Sapphire a lot of the time, and then Lavinia, Narset, Teferi. I was trying to figure out if I could fit Rona into this as well, and like, if you could play Rona with 4 Mox Amber and 4 Mox Opal, that Rona would shred pretty hard, but that's a totally different deck than this one. Pursuit of Knowledge. It appeared on the channel. It drew 7 cards, and now I'm going to retire it forever. Joyami, we did it. We put it into play. We drew 7 cards with it. The quest is complete. The Mind Over Matter One Ring stuff, I think, is clunkier and worse than Displacer Kitten is. If someone at home is interested in this sort of building and you want to, I mean, obviously the Lotus Field goes then if you're not playing Mind Over Matter. If you want to play a build of this with 4 Mox Ambers, and then if you could figure out enough artifacts to support Mox Opal, that could get really interesting. Big Turbo Rona Mox Amber Displacer Kitten combo. The One Ring probably still just belongs in that deck because it's good. There's room in the shell to have a presentable legacy deck in, and I think we were just to the left of the target here, but I had a lot of fun. It was fun building this deck. It was fun playing it, playing with cards, doing crazy stuff. Love a Displacer Kitten. Joyami, thank you for sending this deck in. I hope your lust for pursuit of knowledge, your thirst for knowledge is quenched. Everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon. I'll see you next time.